What it do, my boy? It's your boy Wavy. Stay Wavy TV. I hope y'all staying wavy out there. Let's get it. Got some breaking NBA basketball news for y'all, man. This is an exclusive. You're going to hear this first. This news will not break anytime soon. You're not going to hear this until NBA free agency starts. But I got some crazy news for y'all, man. So I need y'all to click that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, and make sure you leave a comment after the video. Let's get it. Let's start off with this. So we know that there's a little bit of turmoil going on with James Harden and the 76ers. Why? Because James Harden did not look like a prime James Harden this season. He actually looked like a shell of himself. He didn't even look this bad when he was with Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? We seen a James Harden that basically was a pass-first point guard playmaker. He was non-aggressive. He had trouble going to the rim, and he struggled from the three-point line. You know what I'm saying? And we even seen his teammate Joel Embiid actually call him out for not being aggressive offensively, right? So James Harden, right? Number one, he's out of shape. Number two, he's lost a step, and number three, he doesn't like playing for Doc Rivers. He's trying to get his boy Mike D'Antoni back as the head coach like it was in Houston. He's trying to get Mike D'Antoni to eventually become the coach of the 76ers, right? And unfortunately, his boy Daryl Morey has already confirmed that Doc Rivers ain't getting fired. So unless Doc Rivers quits to go coach the Lakers, which he might possibly do, right? Then James Harden, if he resigns with the 76ers, which he's already said he's going to do, they're going to be stuck with Doc Rivers as the coach. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to cause James Harden to possibly, which I believe is going to happen, he's possibly going to leave the 76ers before next season starts. Now, I'm going to tell you guys where he's going to go in just a little bit. Let me continue. Y'all going to see where I'm going with this eventually, right? Kyrie Irving, the GM for the Brooklyn Nets, recently had a press conference where he basically said that he's not sure if Kyrie Irving is going to be re-signed long-term or at all, because he's not sure that Kyrie Irving is committed to being a full-time basketball player for the Brooklyn Nets. He chose to not get vaccinated. Before that, his first year with Brooklyn, he took off a lot of games due to personal issues. And that was a big deal for the Brooklyn Nets, because obviously they brought this guy to the team to win a championship with Kevin Durant. And if he's not going to show up and play basketball full time, then they look at him as a liability, right? So you got Kyrie Irving, who has two choices, just like James Harden. He can opt into the final year of his contract, or he can opt out and become a free agent, right? So you got two guys that possibly are going to be free agents this summer. You got Kyrie and you got James Harden, right? Guy number three I'm going to tell you guys about, Russell Westbrook. We know that Russell Westbrook just had the worst season of his NBA career, and he possibly is not going to be returning to the Lakers. He's obviously going to opt into the final year of his contract, obviously because he's not going to get paid like that nowhere else. But, Russell Westbrook, high possibility that the Lakers are going to do everything in their power to get rid of Russell Westbrook off this roster. Now, with that being said, I'm going to break the news to y'all, okay? We might see Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook on the same team on the Brooklyn Nets, just like they were together in OKC. How? This is how. Kyrie Irving, based off of what the GM for the Brooklyn Nets, Sean Marks, said about him, very high possibility Kyrie Irving's going to opt out that final year of his contract. James Harden, very high possibility he's going to opt out of that final year of his contract, because he's going to be looking for a supermax deal. Obviously, he's hoping he can get that with the 76ers, but, based off of his performance, it might not happen. Based off of him, being coached by Doc Rivers, it might not happen. Based off of Joel Embiid basically saying that he's not the Houston Rockets James Harden, it's not a high possibility that we're going to see James Harden sign a supermax with the 76ers. And let me tell you why. Him leaving Houston and then him leaving Brooklyn, at this point in his career, James Harden don't give a fuck about what people think about him. If he leaves a third team in a row, he's not going to give a fuck, bro. At the end of the day, as long as he's happy with his decision, that's all that matters. James Harden's going to do what he got to do. He don't give a fuck about what people are talking about, right? So this is the scenario that I got planned out. You're going to see a scenario where James Harden's going to opt out of that contract and he's going to re-sign with Brooklyn, right? You're going to see Russell Westbrook possibly do a sign and trade where he opts into that final year of his contract with the Lakers, and you're going to see the Lakers trade Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving just did a podcast with Brandon Marshall basically saying that he actually regrets leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he feels like if he would have been more mature back then, they would have won more rings. And they asked him at the end of the podcast, is it a possibility him and LeBron can play again? He never answered it. They ended the show once they asked him. So you're going to see a sign and trade with Westbrook and Kyrie, right? And you're going to have Russ, KD, and James on the same team, just like it was in OKC. And they're going to build around those guys. Kyrie's relationship with the Nets is unrepairable. The damage has been done. They don't want him back. And you guys are going to see all of this play out this summer. So that's breaking news, y'all. The big three is going to be back. You're going to have Russ, KD, and James Harden on the same team on the Brooklyn Nets. And, this is breaking news, man. So let me know what y'all think about this. Leave a comment. I'm out this bitch. Let's get it.